hello there. I just realized I have mustard all over my fingers. So, sorry. You get mustard hands apparently today. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Whoa! And I thought we would talk about a little something called riffing. That's the official riffin' riff. Dun, 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 dun. Now, what I want to talk about exactly is to kind of, make our riffs less boring, more interesting, and, listening to guys, and full disclosure, this is like dad rock stuff, that's all I know how to play, but, you listen to like Eddie Van Halen, or Nuno Bettencourt, Red Beach, Paul, any of these guys, most of the time, their riffs are not very straight ahead. Now, AC/DC riffs are typically kind of more laid back, so I'm not calling their riffs boring. Their riffs are very good because they have a lot of groove to them, and it's the simplicity that makes them powerful. But maybe that's not the vibe you want to go for. Maybe you want a little bit more complexity in there without being too overstimulating for the listener. So that's what I want to kind of talk about here today. I don't really have tabs for this. I'm just going to kind of like explain what's going through my head, because a lot of you guys ask me, anything you ever hear in the intros of these videos where I'm just kind of riffing, that's always made up on the cuff, while I turn the cameras on. Well, I shouldn't say I turn, my wife turns the cameras on, and I just play something. It's always improvised. And I thought I would explain how I do that, or at least what I'm seeing when I'm doing it, to make stuff a little bit more interesting. So, here we go, and get your guitars and let's go! Okay, so the first thing is that whenever I'm, improvising, there is a certain amount of theory happening, and also a certain amount of I don't know happening at the same time. A lot of it is because this is something I always stress to people, and that is be a very rhythmic player. Whether even in your solos, you can be rhythmic. You don't have to always be. I mean, that has rhythm to it, but I went. Again, a lot of those notes were not in scale, so I'm using kind of like a template, and I'm just rhythmically trying to play something. Now, what I like to do here is, for example, I'm going to give you 3 chords. We're just going to use 3 chords. We're going to use a D chord. I'm doing more like this D sus2. Yeah, I call it the AC/DC D chord. They kind of mute the high E string. So just this if you want. Then I'm going to do their kind of C chord, which I'm just holding down 3rd fret on the A string, and I'm actually muting the D, and then open G, and then, what is this? 3rd fret on the B string. So basically it's only these 3 strings. Okay, and then I go to a G chord just by moving this finger up, and now I mute the A string. So those are my 3 chords. I'm just going back to the D, so you end up playing the D chord twice, technically, so. See, just a little bit there mixes it up, and that's just what I heard. I was just kind of like, down, which is probably actually coming from like Poison, or something like that. Like, what's the Cat Dragon? I don't know. I'm sure I've heard something similar to it, and it's just kind of overspilling. But that's what my ear wanted it to do. Like, I was kind of getting tired of hearing. It almost sounds like Bryan Adams. I don't mean that in a bad way. I love his stuff. What's that? It's Only Love. Now, the challenge here is, like, say that that's not what you want. Like, those are the chords you want. You like the overall tone and progression. But you just want a little bit more out of it. So the first thing that you can kind of do, and this is how I do stuff, like sometimes riffs just happen, and sometimes I kind of dissect them and be like, well, I wanted to have this kind of a part. So for me, I just don't want to hear that same D chord. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to drop it down. Now, in all honesty, I don't really know what this chord is. I've got my root, I've got my 3rd, I've got a major 7, and then you got your 2, or I guess like a 9 is how you kind of look at it. So the tricky part is I don't have a 5th in there, so I don't actually know what this chord is. I just like the sound of it. Now, where did I get that chord from? I actually got it from Eddie Van Halen. Think of like the Panama. When he does that, it's the same exact thing. That's who I got it from. I got it from Eddie. I just liked the way that transitioned down. It's almost like the Beatles thing, where you go minor. Oh, sorry. But like a more major version of it. So that's where that came from, and I just kind of logged that sound away in my brain, and I'm like, okay. And you notice I'm doing a lot more percussive things with my right hand now. I'm going down to tick it down. Because I'm throwing in 3 palm mutes. Then tick it down. So again, like I said, the rhythmic concepts are starting to unveil themselves to me. I'm like, okay, down, tick it down, tick it down, tick it do. I almost want to hear it like, it's been so chordy, I want something picked out now. So what can I do here? And also, I like I said, I'm going to go, which is basically, more than a feeling. Again, it's all about just taking things that you have learned and applying them and being like, oh, I really like the way he did that. Let's pull it over here and do this with it. Now when I see this, I'm thinking D major mostly, I guess, or D Ionian. And I'm seeing different D chords. Like when I see this one, I'm thinking like, I could do something like that if I wanted to. That's not really what I want. Because I'm basically outlining the D chord there. If you know your cage system, which I do not, I think this is part of it. That's like your C shape out of the cage system. So when I do this, see, right there, it still had some chord, it was picked out. I like where that went right there. That kind of tied in that first little thing that I did. But I just walked down the chord, I went C. Now, each one of those is happening over the chord. So the C chord, basically that is taking the place of my G chord now. So remember, we started with this. Not a bad riff. Are you ready, people? Maybe that's like the intro. Something like that. Boom, again. Now it's like, okay, this is all very chordy. Let's have some real punch to it. Down. Maybe not those chords. Nope. I don't know where it would go from there. But you can see how it's just about constructing and adding to, taking away. Maybe I'm like, that riff is becoming too busy. Like with what I just played there, way too busy. But I'm like, okay, so like scale that in. But what did I do? Like I'm like, okay, I'm kind of getting that now. And over top of it, I can almost hear. I wish I tuned down to drop D. I can hear like doo 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 doo. You hear that little chord change there? Okay, tying a little bit of rock and roll into it. There you go. So, there you go. Look, see? Okay, this turned into something. See, like, this is all, it's all off the cuff. This is all just coming to me right now. But that's the part of it. You know, I'm using theory. I'm kind of just thinking rhythmically. That the whole time I'm just thinking like, what can I go? Do 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 do. It's all been very in line and straight and kind of happy. Oh, back into it. Oh, sorry. Where are we going? Maybe that little modulation to the E was not the way to go. I don't know, like I said, just to me that is how to liven up your riffs. Just think just music all the time. Like I said, if it gets too busy, like the first thing I did was too busy, I'm like, but I like that. Like I said, there's just a spark of an idea. And I think part of, just progressing as players is that we have to be able to acknowledge when we're playing too much, when we're not playing enough, and when there's more potential to something that we're playing. Like I said, I don't remember the first thing I played. I was trying to do something like that, but I really like where it ended up. However it's gonna go. So that's just kind of it. I don't know if this video was helpful, but hopefully someone maybe saw something. You could maybe see the wheels turning in my head because, like I said, I could hear where I wanted it to go. And we're just leaving it at that. There was another riff I was messing around with that I came up with. I was actually on the phone. I'm trying to remember the rhythm of it now. I'll end with this. Like I said, you just never know when something's going to hit you, and you'll be like, oh, that sounds really good. So, other than that, guys, good luck. Have fun writing riffs. Like I said, I hope there was maybe a little something in here. I just thought maybe a video of me not having anything prepared, just explaining how I'm thinking about, adding to this would maybe be a little bit helpful. So, other than that, I'm bouncing out of here, guys. Peace out, homies. Keep on rocking, and, I'll see you later. Bye, homies. Woo!